Hi, I'm Tundra Trash. Will you be an angel to a helpless truck? Click the subscribe button below and give a second chance to a truck in need. Now, poor Frank here obviously suffers from Bluetooth driveshaft syndrome. In the stock configuration, that driveshaft angle is way too far, so I need to move this transfer case back and down. The proper way to do this would be a divorce transfer case with a short shaft, moving the transfer case back and down, fixing the driveshaft angles. But a divorced NP205 is like finding a hen's teeth, and then I'd have to get a different transmission. So here's my crazy idea on how to do this truck on the cheap. I'm gonna leave the stock size transmission and transfer case. I'm gonna put a second divorce transfer case behind the first one, which will allow me to drop it down further while maintaining the original drivetrain, not having to spend a bunch of money on extra parts. But I thought you just said that divorced NP205s are hard to come by. Yes, which is why I'm going to use this divorced Dana 24. Oh, and I'm going to install it upside down. Ugh. All right, I've got everything cleaned up. So I got this printout of this blow-up diagram. I'm going to try to put this jigsaw back together. All cleaned up and resealed. We're just going to ignore that all those teeth had some big, nasty pits in them. So usually this would be the input from the transmission, this would be the rear output, and this would be the front output. But I'm going to install it like this, where this will be the input from the transmission, this will be the rear output, and this will be the front output. One transfer case, two transfer cases. So that level represents the front drive shaft. You can see the angle on that's going to be about perfect. As far as clearance to the primary transfer case and the cross member, if I go all the way up, you can see that I've got a solid 8 inches that front axle can go up before this will hit. And if I get this suspension to move 8 inches, I'm already breaking other things. So this should pretty well explain why I wanted to flip that transfer case around. If this was in its stock configuration, the output would be up here, which would put that rear drive shaft angle like that, which would just be totally unacceptable. I think that's going to work awesome. The funny thing is, the front drive shaft's actually going to be longer than the rear. Okay, proof of concept. It all looks good. I'm going to make a cross member. Wow, that looks like some modern art or something. I pulled it out here. I'm going to build the rest on the bench here so I can square it up really nice. Because as you can see, that comes up at an angle, so it's going to be a little difficult to line all that up. I'll have to kind of tweak it and play with it. I can build the rest of it out here and then just stick it back underneath and hope that it still fits. So this is one of those things, from certain perspectives it looks really symmetrical. But I promise you it's not. This was kind of a pain to build because the frame rails tilt in and they're angled down. And the old transfer case mount, because I've got the transfer case clocked funny, doesn't line up either, so. I mean, it'll work. I'm not the world's greatest. Ooh, that one's pretty. Look at that.
The last thing I need to take care of running this transfer case upside down.
This is the original port where this bleeder was. Obviously that would have been pointed upwards. And then this is the speedo drive. Well, I don't care about the speedometer on this. That one I'm just going to put an O-ring on it. I'm going to weld that end closed and put it back. That should seal that up. I'm going to weld this closed and put it back because I don't happen to have a 1/8 plug. That'll work fine. And then what I'm going to do for the new bleeder is get up here. This plug right here was the old fill port. Obviously that's not where I'm going to fill it anymore. So I dug through my stuff and I found this brass fitting. And I put this 1/4-20 in there with a nylock on it. That'll sit up there like that. If any pressure builds up, it'll allow it to bleed out, but it'll keep most of the moisture and other stuff out of there. So I went to the junkyard and scrounged up some drive shafts. Isn't that convenient? Someone already rolled it over to the side for me. Easy access! We need this drive shaft here. I've got my helper helping me get this drive shaft. You're doing a good job. Unfortunately, the forklift hit that one, but it's got 1350 ends, and that's what I need. So I'm going to cut these off, use this section here out of this one. All right, let's see if it fits. I'm really happy with those angles. I got my Aussie locker in the front, a Lincoln locker in the back. Let's test it all out. And thanks to contributions from subscribers like you, another truck is saved from Bluetooth driveshaft syndrome.